CJ got the old mic. We have CJ Landry here.
What up?
Happy to have you again.
I always get the old stuff, dude. Everyone's just like, yeah, give him the shitty thing.
Eventually, we're gonna give you eventually next time you come.
Every podcast I do, they're like, yeah, you're just gonna sit in the bad chair and you got the old mic.
Yeah, that's what it's like being a guest on the podcast. It's like you're gonna sit in this lawn chair. If you
It
don't
really
mind.
is. Every podcast I have one, they're like, yeah, sorry, we got the bad camera on you. We're gonna have you at the bad angle. And you got the bad shitty mic.
We legitimately do have. I mean, it's still a 4K camera, but we have the bad camera on you.
It's just like the optics, the difference between the cameras is pretty crazy. Like what they shoot the news on.
I mean, what they look like
a family camera. That's what you got me on.
The funny thing is like what I honestly think is what they look like compared to the reality is actually much different. I think that bigger camera is so much nicer than it looks than the other camera. Mm-hmm. It really doesn't do it justice. It's a nice
trying
camera.
to make me feel better. I like it.
Yeah. But we have that nice little one on you. Doesn't it just look too small? I know, like, I mean, we're just like, now we're just making observational comedy about things people can't see. But it is funny because it's just a tiny little camera.
It's so tiny.
But
size doesn't matter.
Yeah, size doesn't matter. It's how it operates. How you been, dude?
I'm doing good, man. I don't want to bring the podcast down. My grandma died this morning, and it is kind of it is what
Wait,
it is.
actually?
I'm sorry.
Actually, oh, damn.
Yeah. It was like the first thing I woke up to was like my dad crying on the phone like a baby, and I was just like, "I'm sorry, Dad." Like,
it's crazy that you're here doing a podcast.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, what can I say? I'm a psychopath. I don't know.
To the least prepared podcast too. Like I was like, we will probably end up talking about.
I'm like, yeah, grandma's dead. I guess it's time to get Starbucks and go to a pod.
Yeah, dude. I had my grandpa die when I was in California. I was on like a production at the time, and my mom was like, I'm not going to tell you. She's like, I got news for you, but I can't tell you until you're done with like, I was like on set for like a couple days, and she's like, I can't tell you until you're off set because I don't want it to affect anything. And then I was like, well, this is worse. Yeah, and then I got done, and then she was like, Grandpa died, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like,
building it up.
Not that bad.
Yeah, what?
The old people.
Yeah, and also it was funny because it was for a fucking production that got seen by like 10,000 people. Like my performance wasn't gonna do anything. It was like I was like a fucking extra.
I don't want to mess up your production as customer number 4.
Yeah, I know that you have a lot riding on this.
My grandma was a baddie though. She was just so funny, man.
Okay, that's not how I would describe a funny grandma. I wouldn't.
Did you
say
baddie?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd say baddie. I thought you were.
My grandma was thick as hell. She was so nice.
Yeah. I thought you were low key about to be like, my grandma was hot.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
No. She was the nicest. She had the same haircut as me, but she was an attractive lady.
You have like
you do like.
If you dyed that white, you could switch it, like Photoshop it. You could Photoshop it.
You got that Betty White.
Yeah, you could Photoshop it with like.
No, but like so. She was just funny, bro. Like she would always just, I don't know. She had like a really morbid, dark sense of humor. So like she was like last time I just went to visit her at Christmas. She was like holding court, like a whole family, like just cackling, laughing at everything she said, like just still crushing, dude. And I think she was a comic at heart. She just like never, like she loved Seinfeld. She loved like Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like she just loved like the comedy classic like shows and like just laughed a lot. And she had the comedy mind, but like she was talking and like everything. I noticed she talks in punchlines. Like she would talk in like hit the beats, you know?
Yeah.
It was so funny to watch as like a comic. Be like,
she would like look forward to holidays like a big show.
Oh yeah, she had bits ready.
She's been workshopping.
Oh, she had bits
I can't
ready.
wait to work out this
totally.
apple pie
She would like,
bit.
bro. She pulled me aside. She was like, "I fucking hate the hospital." I was like, "Okay." Shit. She was like, "I hate the hospital." She's like, "They're always trying to treat you, right?" And I'm like, "I'm dying."
Yeah.
And then she's like, "The doctors are so fucking pretentious." And she's like, "I was in there, and the doctor walked in with some extra pillows." And he was like, "Oh, Miss Landry, where do you want me to put these pillows?" And she's like, "Just put them over my fucking face." He just crushed the whole
She
thing.
is literally just working out bits. She's like,
awesome.
"What's the deal with the hospital?" She turns into the maniscalco.
Yeah.
What's the deal with the hospital? The fucking Jello? You think I want Jello? I want to die. Dude, that's so sick. Nobody else in my family is funny like that.
Oh man, she was always funny, dude. She was always funny, and it just she would have neighbors. It was crazy too. I always thought I talk about this in my act, but like I always thought she was really smart because when I was a kid, she would stay up really late, like 3 a.m. reading books every single night. And I was like, damn, grandma's like smart. She's like doing like research or whatever. Like I didn't know. I was like a kid. And then like as I got older, I just realized all of her books are just like romance fantasy novels. Like she was just like horny.
Yeah, she just
horny and dumb as shit. I'm like, fuck yeah, grandma, same.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it's just so funny to watch her. It was so funny to watch her live life. You know, I had a girlfriend in high school. And because my grandma would always wear the same outfit, you know, she would always wear just. I guess it's just like you get older, you know, you cut your hair short, you just wear the same shit every day. Don't matter.
What was the fit?
It was like this black and white striped shirt tucked into like these sort of like black knee length like shorts, and then just she wore stockings and then like black shoes.
She's dressed like a cholo.
Yeah.
She's like collared shirt, only buttoned at the top.
Yeah. 3 buttons at the top, the rest of it unbuttoned. Yeah, no, she would just, and so I had a girlfriend in high school, and she goes, "Where's your grandma work? She's always wearing that uniform." I just like fell out, bro.
The most disrespectful thing.
She works in the streets, fool.
She always has that good uniform on. It's a very specific uniform.
She's staying up late reading.
And she always did the same shit every day, bro. Blew my mind. Like, so she ran a daycare, like whenever I was real young, she ran a daycare center out of her house because she never had like a real job. Her husband left her whenever she was like probably like early 40s or late 30s. Her husband just like left her with her 4 kids, just bounced, you know. And so she was just like had no job
back then.
Yeah, exactly. And she had no job, no like, you know, experience, no education. Like she was just like, I guess I'll just like raise other kids in my house. So like you'd go over to her house, she'd have like just 12 kids running around, random ass kids just running around. She would just get paid by the parents, just like watch them just under the table. Clearly, probably illegal.
Definitely. Now you have to have all sorts of licenses to do that. It is weird. Like, dude, my granddad, I'll never forget one time I was really young. And he was just like, you know, back in my day, you commit a crime, all you got to do is cross state lines. And I was like, what have you done?
Like, that is a thing.
What a crazy thing to say.
He's like, nothing in Florida.
Yeah, exactly.
What are you, a fucking Fed?
Yeah.
Well, they still, I mean, you still can cross lines. In my hometown, we had, I mean, this also might just be us being racist now that I'm looking back at it, but we had a bunch of guys who would come down from Detroit. They come and cool off in Iowa, but I don't even know if that's true. They could have just been black guys who moved to Mason City, Iowa, and we're like, they're the Detroit guys.
Yeah, that is true.
I don't even know now that I'm saying it out loud. It could have just been a thing
that your parents would say, be like, you know,
my dad was just being racist.
Yeah,
he's like, don't go down there. That's where the Detroit boys are. He could have just been racist. I'm realizing that right now.
Well, Florida.
That's it's so funny.
It is actually, now that I'm thinking
to just be like, you know, I have something similar, and then as you're saying it, be like, damn, my dad's just a racist. That's where the criminals go.
Don't go to the Detroit area.
Well, Florida apparently is like a place where you can be like you can just, if you owe money for a crime or a warrant, like they're not going to chase you in Florida.
Right.
That's why like there's like a lot of like Florida man wild shit going on in Florida, because there's so many people that just move there like, yeah, I got a warrant in Ohio for DUI, and I guess I can't afford it, so I'm just gonna have to move.
You can just like go to Florida and like they can't like extradite you. I think extradite would be different countries.
Yeah.
But it's the same kind of thought.
Yeah.
It's like, you're not extraditing me back to Arkansas. I'm not paying that child support, motherfucker.
Well, it's also funny, like, oh no, I have to go live in a better place.
Yeah,
I know. I have to go from Ohio. I have to go from Cleveland to Fort Lauderdale.
Well, that is like the appeal to Florida, is that it's like a better, nice, tropical place, and it's for like scumbags of all sorts.
I
too.
know.
Yeah, dude, it really.
If you go from the tip of Miami to Palm Beach, you cross so many different kinds of scumbag. It's
big time,
crazy.
Even the club, so. You've been to Dania Beach a couple of times, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if have you been there? Is it new, their location, or am I misremembering this? But I don't know the location that it's at currently. If you go like 4 blocks,
it's bad.
Either direction, I made a wrong turn once, and I was like, there's people sitting on top of their cars, and like just it's 8 p.m. just sitting there staring at you, like tracking you like a hawk. I'm like, oh my god!
One time I'll never forget. I was driving Lyft, and it was before a show. So on Lyft, you can set a filter to take you towards a place. And I was hosting a weekend at the Improv, and so I set a filter to go down to the Fort Lauderdale. And I got one. I got one in like Delray to Fort Lauderdale. It's like a 45-minute drive directly where I wanted to go. The name though was so. Normally, I think you'd have to put your legal name. This one was Young Bands with a Z. That's who I was picking up at the Dunkin' Donuts, by the way. And
Donuts also with a Z, actually.
Yeah.
What was the area it was in?
At the Dunkin' Donuts. So I pull up, and I'm trying not to be racist, but I see a black couple arguing in the parking lot, and I go, that's surely who I'm here to get. And I pick them up, and I drive, and for the first 30 minutes, they're arguing in the back seat. They have a baby with them, by the way. No car seat. Just they put it in the middle seat. And I probably...
Free range baby?
Yeah, it's just a free range baby just rolling around in the back seat, kind of. And they're arguing the whole time. They're like, she's like, yeah, why don't you fucking hit me again then? And I'm like, oh my God. Like,
that's so funny.
It was nuts. And then pretty quickly, the guy just like falls asleep. Like, which is they went from arguing to like him being asleep, like heavy breathing, almost snoring on my window. And then she was just like with me listening to a podcast. Oh, and she was like, these motherfuckers are funny, man. Who is this?
Oh my God, you were plugging your podcast.
I know, it wasn't me. that would be funny.
It's actually me. Here's Triple F Podcast.
Actually, yeah, this is the Triple F Podcast. I think this was before we did the podcast. This was a while ago. But I dropped her off, and I'll never forget, it was like an apartment complex, and I pulled up next to this car that was on blocks. Yeah. And the paint was faded and the windows were down. And I looked over, and there was a fucking like kid in the back seat, just like hanging out in this like abandoned car.
Sad as fuck.
What the fuck, dude?
I don't know what he was doing. I don't know if he was like taking a nap or hanging out or like playing. He was probably playing.
Yeah, he was probably playing, which isn't as sad as I'd like to imagine it to be.
No,
but
that kid was having a good time.
The picture of it is
a lot
sad.
of wild children out there.
But I pulled up, and I had my window down, and I just remember looking over, and the kid like looking over. Just like, I just remember being like, I shouldn't be here. It was crazy. Driving Lyft sucked.
Yeah, man.
You used to drive Uber, right?
Of course. I drove Uber in LA. It was a nightmare. Jesus Christ. I was actually renting. So I was living with this Armenian guy. It was like this whole thing. He was like 400 pounds. I lived in his living room. And it was like during the pandemic. So like he was like day trading. Mm-hmm. It was like whenever day trading was like really hot.
Right.
Because everything's just like crashing, and he's just like, sell Apple, bro, sell Apple. It's 6 a.m. in the morning, and I'm like waking up like, what the fuck is going on? He's like, it's crashing, it's fucking crashing, bro. Look at it. And it's like just like CNN just on like the news channel, like whatever.
Is this just like
NBC.
A random guy that you found a room with?
No, this is a comic friend of mine who actually doesn't do stand up anymore, but it was his uncle. And he just like hooked me up with him, and like he like let us crash there, and so I was like living like I was sleeping on a mattress in his living room. And he was he had a business that he would rent like very nice SUVs to people so that they could Uber with it.
Yeah.
And so I was paying $500 a week to have this car.
Holy shit! That means you had to Uber. A lot,
I was Ubering constantly.
Yeah,
and I was Ubering constantly to basically like almost pretty much break even. Like I was like barely making any money.
Do you charge more because you have a nicer car?
Yeah, that's the whole thought. Yeah, you can make like you can do like the expensive rides, and but then like whenever the pandemic happened, like the expensive rides kind of went away. So like I was waking up in the morning to do Instacart. So I would like wake up in the morning, do Instacart. And then I would, at lunchtime, I would do DoorDash, and then all night long, I'd just do Uber. Yeah. And so I'd just be in the car all day.
It's
every day.
crazy what comics will do to not have to go into a job.
Yeah, I know, right?
dude.
They're like, you know what
there
I'll
was
do?
no
I'll
jobs.
do 3 different things
Yeah.
that I control the hours of, but I'm so poor that I'm going to
know.
have to do them the normal hours of a normal job.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, I have to do taxes because
Right.
they don't take taxes out.
Yep.
Just to be able to be like, I'm living free. I want to be able to go do an open mic whenever I can.
Well, the problem is I did have a job. I was working at like a podcast studio, and then
right.
and then I lost it because of the pandemic. So I like there, and then there was no jobs. 'Cause
Yeah.
like no one was hiring because it was a pandemic in LA. Like Los Angeles was like complete, like it was shut down more than any other
Possibly
really
the
city.
worst place
Yeah.
you could
Yeah,
have been
dude, you were in the
during the
Mecca of it.
pandemic.
And so,
yeah.
and so then it was funny too because like it was so dystopian. Like I remember Instacarting in LA, and they would make us wait in line to get into the grocery store.
Oh, fuck.
So
yeah,
there
I
was-
didn't even think
there was a
about
line
that.
just to get in, and I noticed that everyone in line was just doing what I was doing.
Yeah.
Everyone in
Right.
line was just waiting to pick up other groceries to bring to other people so that they could have money to eat at night. Like it was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Jesus
Damn.
Christ, this is fucked
That's
up.
That's
really-
like a fucking futuristic horror film.
Yeah,
or
Yeah,
something.
that's like a
It was-
dystopian
Black
like,
Mirror
horror
shit.
film.
Yeah, it is Black Mirror
where
shit.
it's like literally that like separates the
Yeah.
class of people. It's like people who have money
Bro,
to
they were.
send the poor.
Dude, people were ordering organic during the pandemic. That's
Yeah,
what was going
that
on.
is
I was
kind of
picking up
crazy.
at like a Sprouts, organic, everything.
Yeah.
dropping it off at like a Beverly Hills mansion. Their maid is taking it. Like it's not even like them.
That's a crazy level of like I'm not even the one picking up my or like I'm gonna send somebody else to get my order,
yeah.
and then when that order gets dropped off, I'm not even the one receiving it. My maid is gonna receive
100%.
it. They're gonna put it in my kitchen, in my cabinets. So like they just like come downstairs one morning and they have groceries put away in their house.
Yeah.
And somebody's making it probably
Oh,
too.
yeah.
for
Yeah, and
making
then
the food.
somebody like literally every step a normal person has to do to get food into their mouth. Literally, the only step that people that rich have to do is feed it to themselves.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I've actually never thought that.
Oh yeah, and they
deeply
don't. A lot
through
of them
it.
don't even cook it.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's
so
what we're
yeah,
saying.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
They have like a
somebody
chef
else
and-
picks it up, somebody
Yeah.
else puts it away, somebody else.
It's
cooks
always
it,
one whole.
somebody else.
It's usually one person. Like they do. They're just
Oh,
like
like
the,
they're the
the
house. Yeah.
lady.
Yeah.
Like they do. Like they.
I just watched Saltburn. I fucking know what's up.
Yeah.
Have you
You
seen
seen that
Saltburn?
Saltburn?
Nah.
Oh, there's
it's good.
Yeah, it's good.
It's good.
Never mind, but there's
I started it and didn't get me.
Really?
Yeah, I
It
started. and I
is
was
a
like,
little
all right.
slow of a start, but once it picks up, it's
I
good.
just watched Poor Things, which was the Emma
I
Stone movie.
yeah. Worth
Don't
it?
watch the trailer. Don't even just watch it, dude.
Yeah.
Really? Dude,
That's out in theaters right now,
it's-
right?
That's my favorite
Crazy.
way to watch movies. Is like
Bro.
somebody being like, "Fucking watch it," and then I
I've-
don't watch the preview. I don't watch anything.
Once it was
I just go
over,
see it.
I felt like I was coming off of drugs. Like it
Really?
was a very like it's.
I know
it's
people
a
who
ride.
have gone to see it. Damn,
It's a
dude.
ride, bro. I
wanna go see
It's
it.
one of the most unique movies I've ever seen.
Okay, I gotta. Yeah,
it's
I'm definitely
crazy.
gonna watch
That'll
it.
be noted.
We're low key a movie podcast.
Yeah, we're a movie podcast. What's your favorite? What's your White Guys are the movie podcast? Let's go.
So unique.
What's your favorite movie that you've ever seen? What do you think? You got a favorite, or I guess most recent?
So hard, man.
Maybe Halloween, probably.
Hubie Halloween's up there.
Yeah.
Halloween?
Hubie Halloween.
Hubie Halloween.
I don't even know what that
Adam
is.
Sandler
movie.
Halloween.
It was dog
Oh
shit.
no.
Dude, all he does
plays
is
a
play
disabled guy. He
That's
plays
so
a
funny.
disabled guy who loves Halloween or something
for like the
that.
8th time. Dude,
My
that's-
favorite Adam Sandler movie might be the Christmas one. I don't remember
Eight
the
Crazy Nights?
Yeah, Eight Crazy
Oh,
Nights
okay.
might be one of my
Dude,
favorites.
that was a stay at home when I was sick. I would throw that on. I'd own the DVD. I would watch that like every time I was homesick when I was in middle school.
It was really good.
Because they had
man.
that's a technical foul. That
Oh, yeah.
song, that was such a dude. That was a
Technical
banger.
foul. Oh, so funny.
God, I wish.
The old little man in it is great.
Dude,
just goated.
I mean, those dudes, they live the fucking like Adam Sandler's living the dream.
Oh,
where it's
man.
like, dude, he like
All
blew
your
up,
friends.
all blew up in comedy right away when he was young. Then he just gets to make movies and hang out with his friends, get his fucking boys paid to like.
Have you seen? There's like a
Dressed like a bum the whole
Just
time.
and he
Yeah.
balls out too. He's so
dressed
good
like
at basketball.
dressed like a 6th grader at basketball
Just
practice.
a stay-at-home dad
Yeah.
the whole
Dude,
time, dude.
And he's like, he's so fucking.
yeah.
There's a thing going around the internet where it's like, is Adam Sandler secretly conservative?
Oh, okay.
Get the fuck.
It's really, really funny. Well, because everybody's upset. Well, not everybody's upset, but Rob Schneider is like an asshole about it.
He's crazy.
Like he's a crazy person about it. He's like he tours and like sells out because people go Rob Schneider, Adam Sandler, yeah. And then they get there and he's like the vaccine.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like
And then
Sandler. I
everybody's
feel
like,
like Sandler's
okay.
the type of guy who doesn't give a fuck about politics.
Yeah.
He's
Which is
just
the
like
best way to be, in
whatever.
my
I'm like
opinion.
out of it. What am I? I'm here to make movies, dog. I
Right.
Yeah, dude. I'm here to
Right.
fucking I'm here to make a movie about a fucking disabled guy again.
Yeah.
We broke down one episode about like every movie that he does. He plays either like he just mainly plays disabled people. Like Waterboy, he's disabled.
Yeah.
Little Nicky,
It's mentally challenged.
disabled.
Yeah. And he's just
Billy
getting the
Madison,
pass 'cause
he's
he's fucking-
disabled. Hubie Halloween, he's disabled.
Yep.
And then other ones he just plays he just plays like the best guy.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
50 First Dates, he's just the nicest guy in the world. He's just like falls in love with Drew
Right.
Barrymore.
He's a romantic.
And
Dude.
yeah, he's a romantic. Every once in a
Wedding
while he
singer.
plays a bad guy.
I watched I mean, not to get back into Saltburn, but just the idea of this character, what's the really hot guy's name? What's his name?
Jacob Lordy
You know that guy?
from Euphoria, the hot
the
guy from
Elvis
Euphoria.
dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude,
Wait, does he play Elvis?
he plays Elvis in a movie.
It's a Priscilla movie now.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
called
okay.
Priscilla. Yeah.
Oh,
He,
Also, a really pretty good movie.
he's one of those people, like his character a person like him doesn't actually exist. Like his character in the movie's like the nicest guy. Nice people I don't think nice people truly exist.
that's a crazy take.
No, it's not.
You don't think any nice people exist?
I don't think people are, no. Not
What about
this-
Gandhi? He
I heard Gandhi was like
what
a
about
bad
Gandhi?
guy.
Yeah,
No. Have you heard the shit about
No, I'm
Gandhi?
kidding.
though?
I'm kidding because I've heard the shit about
Gandhi. So Gandhi,
Like slept with
Gandhi
kids.
and Mother Teresa, two people who are very
of course.
generally known for being like saints, right?
Yeah.
Is Gandhi
Sucking tongues.
No, that's Dalai Lama. You're thinking of another like Middle
Oh, I'm being
Eastern
racist again.
guy. Yeah, that's yeah. So Gandhi would sleep
with the-
sleep with
yes, I was
young
thinking with the wrong-
children to like test his purity and like faith. Basically, he would be like, you know what would really tempt me right now? Get some young pussy around
Oh,
here.
yeah.
Let me see if I can't do it. And then Mother.
Sounds like dude just loves a challenge.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. He was basically like that era's what's the guy the boats guy? Fucking David Goggins.
Yeah.
He was just like, I just love a good challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Who's gonna not fuck these children?
Who's gonna not fuck these children?
So
Who's gonna hold the load?
Right.
and then yeah. And then Mother
Hold the
Teresa
load.
believed that pain brought you closer to God, which
That's an old school belief.
I understand as a spiritual belief. I don't disagree.
That's why I get pegged.
Yeah.
He's actually not gay. He's super spiritual.
That's why I get pegged. No lube. It
Yeah.
brings me closer to my Lord.
Closer to God, and I'm fucking really close to coming.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
Yeah, but like to the point where like she ran like hospitals and stuff, and she would like apparently basically like they would I think like withhold treatment of people for like them, like she would always just basically be like, no, it's good that you're in pain and dying, you're closer to God.
Dang,
Like,
she's-
which is crazy.
That's fucked.
You know those like fucking people who won't treat their kids with modern medicine and the kids will like die? Have you seen that? There's like a it's not Amish people, but it's like something like that where they like there's a case where a family got tried because their kid had like something that was cured by like I think it was like pneumonia or something where they could have just got him on like a topical like or not a topical but like a steroid for their lungs and he would have been fine, but they were like that's not God's will. And it's like, well then your kid's gonna die and you're gonna go to prison for negligent, you fucking idiot.
Can they
They did.
Huh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, you
like-
can't just be like God told me not to treat my kid.
Yeah,
Then it's like God schizophrenia. Nobody with schizophrenia would be arrested for their
But-
crimes. Then
but
You
what
could
if
also just say
I-
God told me to kill my kid. That's a kind of a biblical thing.
yeah, it's
That's
a very
like
You'd be like, hey,
there's a
I was
story.
You're
fucking
not
around.
gonna believe this, but you should.
There's-
Yeah.
yeah.
Faith.
He's
That's
actually
what it is.
talking to me right
Faith.
now.
Yeah, that is what it is, right? It's like, have you guys not any faith, huh?
Yeah. What do you guys fucking?
You know, you don't think God wanted me to kill my kid?
Well, that was the
Prove it.
Sounds like
Prove
you're a
it.
non-believer.
Hey, how about
Yeah,
this?
yeah, yeah.
Prove he didn't want to.
Sounds like you need to go to church.
That's basically how the government operated in England from like the
Oh yeah.
and from like the historical times
Yeah.
till now. Not now, but like they would be like that's the whole idea of like dueling, or like that's like trial by combat. The whole thing is like God is gonna have the right, like he will make the right outcome happen. Like the guilty party will die,
Right?
Because of that thought process.
Really?
That's where dueling came from. Yeah.
Oh, I don't think I
like,
knew that.
Yeah, trial
that's
by combat.
That's super fucking dumb. That's the dumbest
it's crazy
shit I've ever heard in my life.
I could like rob and steal from you, and then if I'm just better at fighting than you, like they'd be like, well, he lied. What a pussy! He lied, and he can't fight.
It's basically the same. It's basically the same idea as whenever they would put people who were accused of being witches. They would go, well, we put her in water, and they tie rocks to her, and if she sinks and drowns,
she's a witch.
She wasn't a witch, but if she doesn't drown, she is a witch.
Yeah.
So. Sucks.
Also, what would you do if they were a witch? Like, what if she was just like, "I'm back, motherfucker"?
Yeah, I guess.
You thought, pussy.
I guess that's when they burn them. I think that's when they would burn people.
It was that is kind of crazy where they're like just the cockiness of being like for sure that she was a witch. It's like, dude, if she was a real witch, she would just kill all of you.
Yeah,
right. She
like if
wouldn't.
magic existed, she would just kill all of you.
They'd be like,
what are
she
you
should have
doing?
been a better witch.
Yeah,
I don't know what to tell you.
yeah, she is a woman after all.
If us mere mortals can
She's
catch
no
her.
warlock, you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank God she's not a
Why was there not killing the warlocks too? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, they just
there
thought
was only witches.
it is funny that they were just like, there's too many fucking bitches around here. like, what should we do? It's
Was
like,
Salem just full of like gay dudes? They're like, we got to get these fucking whores on here.
yeah, I know. It really is, because it's like you don't hear anything of people being like, there's wizards around here.
Nothing.
You know? It was never. It's like, oh, it's only women. It's only women who can do magic.
Yeah, only.
That's
Guys
so
who don't
strange.
believe in themselves.
And it was all like a LSD like paranoia thing, right?
Yeah,
Wasn't there some like
it wasn't
bacteria?
LSD. It was like water, and then
Grains.
there was
It was a
like
bacteria.
it was like
there's a
bacteria
bacteria
in
in
the
their food.
grain, like ergot or something like
Yeah,
that.
that was
would
making
cause
them-
There's also bitches
hallucination.
casting spells too. That's the biggest thing that
Also,
we're ignoring. by the
yeah,
way.
let's not overlook the fact that bitches do have spells.
they were casting spells.
But
That
they
is-
do be doing magic.
It's like
Women
be doing magic. It's the first person to be like the first girl who was like, I've got these stones and the moon is telling me that
They were like, well, how about this?
What the fuck?
How about this? Give us those stones. We're gonna throw them at you till you're dead.
Yeah.
like,
This first
it's-
astrology girl just was a
Honestly,
witch.
It really is.
I'm kind of down with it. Let's get these crystal bitches out of here.
I know,
I'm, like,
right?
Kind of down.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. It's like now we have, like, back then you used to get stoned to death or burnt at the stake, and now women
Yeah.
can be like, I do magic,
CEOs.
but I do mostly good magic. Yeah, they run their own Instagram account.
I do like that they don't like. You know, I don't know. I haven't really heard of any woman like pushing crystals. I mean, I guess I'm not in the algorithms or something, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen any women like pushing crystals or really like, it's the astrology really is what gets pushed so hard where it's kind of makes me uncomfortable where I don't understand. I don't understand the like just blind belief in it where there's so much science and just kind of proof against it. I just don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get why.
This is the craziest thing. I was talking to somebody the other day, this girl who I have wanted to hook up with, it just hasn't worked out, and then she like responded to a story, and I was like, "What's up?" And she was like, well, I have a boyfriend now. Or she was like, I'm kind of booed up now. And I was like, that sucks. And then she was like, but, and like sent the eye emoji. And then I was like, but, and she was basically going, I'll cheat on my boyfriend, which is like fucked up and not something that I want to be a part of, just for the record. Those days are behind me, truly. And she was like, don't think I'm a bad person though. I'm just a Gemini. And I hope that she was kidding a little bit.
Yeah.
But if she was not kidding, like if there was even a, you know, the fact that she said that, there's a sliver of her that was like, no, but really, like I can't help. It's like,
It's like
could
not
you
my fault.
imagine? Could you imagine your girlfriend cheating on you and then being like, I'm a Gemini?
I know. Well, I just, yeah, it's just like whatever time of the month. It's a whole kind of thing. It's a lot of time. They love to blame things on periods of time. That's really what it is.
Where the moon is.
Yeah,
is
where
what
the
it
moon
is.
is and the tide and your flow. I don't know. Like, I just don't get like what. I don't know. Like why. Like, also, it's weird to me that a lot of. I've thought about this before. Like why. Like there's so many astrology chicks who are also like very progressive, very woke. Like they're always like very woke, very progressive chicks, and it's weird to like believe in like science and some things, but then like not believe in the science and the other. Like we're like, oh, I got the COVID vaccine, I got the booster, I got the double booster, and then it's like I believe the science. You know me, I'm a Virgo. She's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, dude, no science says that you're a Virgo.
Fuck, dude, that's such a great
that's
point.
not real.
A Republican like astrology girl's hilarious.
Yeah,
that's the funniest. That's the funniest contradiction that exists.
But if you think about like what Republicans and conservatives are, that makes the most sense. Because Republicans and conservatives, typically, if you're just going to generalize it, are people who are like religious, like faith-based,
exactly.
like that kind of
they
stuff.
They don't believe in science.
A lot of them don't believe in science. They don't want to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
They don't want to listen to But then. Those are the people. It really should be people who are like, I have my crystals aligned perfectly so that Trump will win the 2020
You never see it though.
No, you never see it.
I caucus for DeSantis. I'm just a Gemini. I caucus for DeSantis.
I don't know why. It's like they don't believe in all. Yeah, it's just. It's also too. They're very like. It's also very progressive women that are in astrology, and they're like we should. I believe in equality of outcome, and everyone should equality, and everyone should treat each other the same. But if you're a Scorpio, you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
What does that add up?
Yeah, that's such a good point. I've never thought about that.
It's so strange. And they're always very political. Like every single girl that I know that's like really into astrology, really into, like she's also like very political activist, fucking everything.
Yeah.
Don't say those words.
Yeah.
Like it's like what, okay, oh, you psycho.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a little crazy. It's just an extreme person. That's really what it is. You know?
Right. It really is. That is what it is. It's somebody.
Extreme.
You know what I think it is? It's somebody who just wants to feel something.
It's all it is. It's a very feely person, I think. It's a very feely person where they're like they're connected to like how people are, and they also like want to support how people who are like trans or whatever, like they are very emotional people, I think, and that's kind of where it stems from. But it's very strange how you're also like not really believing in science in a way where it's like there's so much proof out there.
Well, I think those people are
debunk what you
so
believe in.
Emotional that they want to have like an excuse to be like, this is why I feel this way.
Yes.
It's because the moon is where it is.
Yeah.
It's because the stars were this way when I was born. That's why I can't control my emotional nature.
Yeah.
No, you didn't take your SSRI blocker.
Yeah.
That's what it's like, no, you have bipolar disorder.
They like to blame it on the
You have bipolar too.
Yeah,
and you need to look into it.
Yeah. Read the fucking BDSM,
Yeah, it's
dude.
a good scapegoat.
The BDSM. The DSM.
Read the BDSM. So good. That's not what it is.
That's not
it's
what it
the
is,
DSM.
but that is funny. The BDSM is what CJ's grandma was reading.
Yeah.
Dude, getting turned on by a book has to be next level horny. Like,
dude,
like you have to be.
You have to have imagination,
well,
dude.
no, it's like it has to be better,
brother.
than
When
watching a porn.
when I was in rehab, I'd read shit and be like,
it has to be
let's
better,
go.
dude. Yeah, because you're like imagining it.
There was a series of books I read that was about like a DEA agent who goes undercover, and it goes back and forth from different perspectives of like the cartel member, the DEA agent. There's 3 books, and a really great thing to read when you're in rehab, by the way. They're just like talking about heroin. I'm just like, yes.
Fucking shoot it
but
up.
yeah, there was a scene, or not a scene, but there was like a half-page description of like a sexual encounter that I read probably 1,500 times.
Whoa.
Dude, like, it's crazy. It's crazy how quickly you revert back to like 13-year-old boners and jerking off. Like, remember when you couldn't really like get porn or whatever, like, and
we
you
had
could
a family computer. It was just one computer in the house.
Yeah, it was one
And it was in the
computer.
living room.
And I didn't even know what to search either. I just searched like tits.
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't know
and
what
you're
to
like
look it up.
you're like not really old enough where you're
Yeah.
being left alone at the house. So
Yeah.
you just have to kind of figure out a time where you're like, okay, mom's upstairs, dad's gone. So
Yeah.
like, and then you just do that. It's like when you're removed. Like I was in rehab, like inpatient, like no phone, no access to the internet for like 2 months. And you would have thought that I had been in prison for 6 years the way I was acting.
You step outside, you're the light.
Yeah, dude, they took us out to get haircuts one time, and I was flipping through a magazine, and there was it was like a cutout of like a girl in a bathing suit, and I ripped it out of the magazine and hid it in my pocket. And then I would like traded off to like to like other guys that were there. It was nuts, dude. It was literally like prison. Jeez. It was like, if you give me a couple cigarettes, I'll let you have this.
Yeah.
Like it was nuts, dude.
Yeah, I could see that being a thing because rehab's real strict. You can't bring a lot of shit in, right?
No, yeah, they go through all your shit, like really, like
that
very, very.
Can you go to rehab for fucking like a porn addiction?
Brother, if you pay, they'll take you. Yeah.
What's weird, there's no rehabs for cigarette addiction, though, right?
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, no. So that's
it's one of the worst addictions. Because I live. So I never told you this. I actually, the house I grew up in, the driveway, right next to the driveway, it was just a small, like it was like this weird white cheap plastic fence, and then right past the fence was the courtyard of a rehab center.
Oh,
and it was really funny. It was on High Street. That was the name of the street that I was on, which is so fucked up, right?
Awesome.
And I would always hear them like talking, like I would be like shooting basketball like in the driveway, like just as a kid, and like I would hear them talk about their rehab stories and like what they're going through and blah blah blah.
Just chiefing cigarettes,
and they're all smoking cigarettes, and it's like, damn, bro, it's like really crazy how there's no. I get it that like cigarettes isn't like a addiction that's gonna kill you if you quit or whatever, but it's like it does make you depressed. It definitely like fucks you up. It's hard, it's hard to quit. Just like anything, it's maybe one of the hardest things to quit. It's weird how there's no rehab.
It's so crazy too.
Well, that's the
you
thing.
Can find it anyway.
Yeah, that's the deal. Is it's not like a life ruiner, but like it'll still kill you.
Yeah.
And like it's still bad for you. It affects your health in a way that does make you feel worse. But that's just one of the things. I mean, I haven't smoked cigarettes since I stopped getting high. But like, yeah, that's like the big thing. Nicotine in general and caffeine is that's like the only thing that we have. That and sex.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying.
For
So like there's a sex
trying to be
addiction
sober.
thing. There's a sex addiction.
Yeah, and that makes sense because that does like
it's
legit
weird. There's
wreck
no
people's
cigarette
lives.
thing. Like there's not like I've never heard of that.
There are like 12-step programs
for nicotine
for basically everything.
Yeah, okay.
There are so many that there's actually more for like non-substance related things than there are for substance related things. They're just kind of a fucking joke. Like it's like, because it's like, yeah, like do I think that maybe I need it for nicotine? Like, yeah, sure. But like I'm not robbing my parents for cigarettes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're just robbing your parents' cigarettes.
Yeah, you just take your parents' cigarettes.
My neighbor growing up had was the chief of police who had the drug dog right behind us. So we would have, I've told you this, but like when we started smoking, when I was like younger, smoking weed, the drug dog would be kenneled up outside and just losing his fucking mind. And we never put it together until like 4 years later. We were like, oh shit. Like that's why the dog would freak the fuck out. Is because we were like in his home territory, ripping it and just fucking blowing the smoke. And he's like, "What the fuck?" Giving him PTSD, dude.
Yeah, seriously, that's got to be
the drug dog thing, man. I got I drove to Big Bend and I got weed confiscated because they stopped me at the border. There's a border in like it's not even they say border patrol, but they're not on the border or whatever. It's like near the border. I don't know. Anyway, so like. I go there and they have their dog out. The dog doesn't even move. I don't even know.
Yeah,
like
the dog is a scam. I think
the dog's a scam. It's like, the dog said there's drugs in here because they have to do it. The only way that they can search your car is if they're probable cause, and the only probable cause they can create is the dog.
Is an animal.
So the dog being like, yeah, he said it, and he's like, no, he didn't. He didn't do anything. And
he's like, no, we actually got a collar from Sky Mall that attaches it. It says on the collar, it makes his bark. Yeah.
And you're like, okay, he's like snapping the whole thing too, and then like, okay. So then what was really fucked up was whenever he was confiscated the drug, and I was like, oh, we're going to jail. Like they're about to detain us. Like I don't even know what's going on because we had shrooms and everything. And so I was like, oh damn, like we're about to have a felony. We're going to jail. And he's like, good boy, right in front of me. He's like, treats and shit. I'm like, this fucking dick.
You're just listening to the cop's dog voice.
Yeah.
Get on the fucking ground. Who's your good boy?
Exactly. Like,
let me see your fucking hands, motherfucker.
Roll over, not you. Keep your face down. Good boy, roll over.
The whole thing was so funny.
God, that's so fucking funny.
My buddy had a phone on him still. For somehow me and my other buddy, there was three of us. My buddy Trey, we didn't have our phones, but my buddy Simon still had his phone. So we're like, fuck. I was like, fuck, we got shrooms on us, fuck. And we're like up against this wall, and I'm like, Google, just Google how much is a felony for sure. he was like Googling like how many grams.
That's so
how sure
funny.
is a felony.
Using Siri right next to the cop.
It's like,
Yeah, Siri, how many grams?
He's like, wait,
hey
what?
Siri, how much? Yeah. That's so good.
Or it'd be funny if you managed to type it in, but Siri responded.
My Siri's trying to respond.
In Texas, 1 gram of, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we realized this moving here. Jack actually realized it. There was one night when we first got here where Jack and Josh went out and did an open mic, and it was so bad that they were like, let's get drunk. Like that. Like, and he doesn't really, he drinks a little bit more now, but he doesn't really drink. And on the way home, it was a Sunday or something like that.
Yeah.
Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe, whatever. Either way, like they weren't selling alcohol. Like they weren't selling liquor.
Yeah. I was so
And
mad.
then Jack was like, and there's like, they can't, like there's no casinos here. And I can't like smoke weed. Like they were like, Texas is supposed to be like America. Like,
know,
it's like
very
free.
freedom.
And it's like no weed, no gambling. You can't buy alcohol on Sundays. You can't buy
after
fucking
midnight.
You can't buy
It's
it after
wild,
midnight.
dude. Yeah.
It's like this place isn't.
A lot of places are like that, but it's
don't
not
even
what
get
I
me
would-
started. Then the fucking toll roads. Oh, if you go on this thing, it's like you get a fucking ticket in your fucking mail. It's $1,000. Like, what are you, Nazis?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's straight
about
Nazis,
that.
bro.
I need to know about that because that sounds scary.
Oh, you don't even know about that? Oh, well, hey, I hope your address is up to date, because if not, you about to find out.
My address is up to date.
Okay,
Yeah,
well,
I
then
changed
good.
the address with the post office.
But
so
is it
hopefully I
isn't
get
linked to
that.
like the car, like the address that's linked to your license plate?
I don't know how that works. No, probably not.
Yeah, buddy, you might want to look into that.
But you know what's weird is
Wait, if you don't have that, that's a fine? Or what are you
Oh
saying?
yeah, they like send it to you in the mail, and then they might send it to your. So this is what happened to me.
they might send it to my old
They'll
address.
send it to your old address, and then they'll just let it pile up.
Yeah.
They'll let it pile.
Oh, wait,
up.
you're
They'll
saying-
let it
oh, the
pile
toll
up to-
roads.
They'll let it pile up till it goes to the fucking creditors.
You know what I've noticed though? I
Fuck
have
this place,
I
man.
have a whatever the Sunshine Pass, whatever it was from Florida, and I kept getting like bills of on it on my phone. I could see that I'm getting charged, and I'm like, what the fuck? I don't live there anymore. And then I look. This is like not good podcasting, like whatever. But like I looked, and it was billing me for like driving on like I-35. So I'm like, is it connected? So I'm hoping that that's not the case. I can't afford, dude. I would be fucking furious, dude. I'd go to the governor. I'd go to the governor. I write a senator. I'd do whatever I have to do.
Dude, it happened to me. I park at Mothership downtown, and I was parking at this lot, and I was parking there because I just noticed that I would park there, no ticket.
Yeah.
I parked there for a week, no ticket, no boot, no nothing. I'm
You're
like,
like, fuck
yeah,
yeah.
hell yeah. Parked there for months.
Oh no.
Months. And then my mom sends me a stack of envelopes
Oh, no.
that are like $80 a pop.
My
and it's
God.
like $5,000. And I haven't heard of anything. I haven't called nobody. I just was like, I'm just going to avoid this until somebody calls
Have you
me.
been pulled over since?
Nah.
Huh.
Holy shit.
That's crazy. That's a crazy way to ticket somebody.
But it's not through it's a third party.
if it's not through the government, then fuck them.
it's a
Who
third
gives
party.
shit?
It's a third party shit.
Oh,
Then they're
who gives
stupid
a
for not
fuck? Yeah.
booting your car.
I know.
Those are tickets that I don't have to pay.
That's
Yeah,
what I
yeah.
thought. Why would you never boot my car? That's crazy. They're just
Yeah.
gonna let it pile up until they're like, $5,000, stupid.
Yeah, and you go,
And then you're like,
suck my dick. I'm not going to fucking pay
it's a
this.
fucking Uno reverse card. You're like, psych, I'm not paying. And they're like,
They're like, we didn't think this through.
they're like, please?
Oh yeah.
Like, because when I was here visiting in the summer when all my shit got stolen, which sucked, we would go, my ex was here and my brother was here, and we didn't really know what to do, so we'd go, like, I'd go do my shows, and then we'd like hang out at like on like 6th and like, do whatever, right? And so I was parking my brother's car in one of those lots that, like, if you pay, it's like fucking $60 for the night,
Yeah.
But I was just like, I remember like somebody had told me like, don't pay for parking. They were talking about the street parking, obviously,
Yeah.
where the tickets are like $20 and it's like, who gives a shit?
Right.
And so I did that, and then we come back, and this is the night after every expensive item that I've ever had was stolen. And we go back to the car, and there's a fucking boot on it. And they do the thing where like there's a guy in the parking lot, like and it's just like, hey, and he's like, it's $180 for us to take it off. That's a great way to get your money.
Yeah.
Is like it sucked. Like it was such a crazy moment because they were just like, it was like, call this number, and I called the number, and I looked up and I saw the guy answer the phone. Like, I was just like, hey, can you come over here and take this off? And then they have like a little thing, like almost like a server does, that you just put your card in, and then like, do you want to leave a tip? Like it's crazy.
20% is already
that would be
there,
that would be crazy.
Well, what happened with the parking? You know, everybody's like, oh man, like they might come after you at the creditors and the whatever. Like they might, charge you. I'm like, dude, at this point, man, I'll just file for bankruptcy. What the fuck?
Right,
like who gives a shit? And they're like, oh, that's gonna ruin your credit. You're not gonna be able to buy a house. Oh, the thing I can't do anyway for the foreseeable future. Like, I give a fuck.
Hey,
who gives a shit,
I wasn't exactly looking.
I'm not gonna be able to buy a house anyway. And they're like, oh, that's gonna ruin your credit for the next 7 years. Great, I won't be able to afford a house for another 7 years anyway.
Yeah,
that's perfect. Actually, that's great.
Yeah.
I should actually just get through with it. Just do the bankruptcy just to get over with now.
Yeah,
well, we had a when we moved from San Diego to Florida, we had a company hit us up like this summer and was like, you owe us $2,000 for when you moved out. And I was like, suck my dick, dude. This is fucking 2 years ago. Eat my fucking ass. Come and get
everyone's
the money.
just
come and get the
money.
motherfucker.
I had
get the money like I'm threatening.
I had medical bills from like a hospital visit that I had,
too.
and I've just never. I paid a couple of them because when they would come in, they were like reasonable. It was like X-ray, $180. I'm like, that's fair. That's fine.
Yeah.
And then like one other one came in, and then there was like one from like the fire department because they had to pick me up. Like it was a whole thing where I threw my back out in like a drainage ditch on the side of the road trying to skateboard.
So Thrasher, dude.
Yeah, dude. I literally had a Thrasher t-shirt on in the hospital.
My
It was probably as lame as I've ever been in my adult life. And
how old is this? Like, what's he in for? He hurt himself skateboarding. How old is he?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
What is he? Yeah, I think I was 27 at the time.
Like, oh, he
Still,
doesn't have insurance.
too much.
Get him out of here.
So and then I got another one for like the stay at the actual hospital, and it was like $1,600.
Fuck.
And I was like, okay, well, guess who's not paying this? And I've never paid it. It's never affected my credit.
Yeah.
I don't think that it can.
We'll see.
Credit exists.
I don't know, man. Hey,
I've
if you never look at the number, it don't
doesn't
exist to me, dog.
Well, we're the only country that does it too, for the record.
The credit score?
Yeah, nobody other country.
Well,
Like,
there
if
are
you go
some
to
countries
Europe-
that do like a social credit score. China.
Yeah.
Like how you
China.
behave.
How you behave?
Like they would watch our podcast and be like, ugh.
But what if we were like,
we have
the
to file
king is
for
so good.
social
Wow,
bankruptcy.
you were really Chinese there.
just the guy auditing us. When I went to Thailand, they have a king there, and it's like a huge thing where if you disrespect,
really?
Yeah, and if you disrespect the king, it's like federal prison. Like you will go to prison. Like people, and so we were thinking it was funny. We were like, "Duh, fuck the king, fuck the king," and then like we were like doing it in public, and then our commanding officer was like, if you do that one more time, I will fuck you up. Like you are going to get in trouble. We had a guy
crazy.
Dude, we had a guy get arrested in Thailand for he went and tried to kickbox. We were in Thailand on a deployment. He was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to kickbox these fucking Muay Thai fighters. Got the living shit kicked out of him. Then the kickboxing company was like, you owe us money because you used our facility. And he's like,
I think he's Bruce Lee.
yeah, like the world's worst origin story. And then he was like, I'm not fucking. He basically got into an altercation where
I'm gonna kick my way to the top.
Yeah. And he got the shit kicked out of him. Then he was refusing to pay the they were like, you used our facility, you have to pay us. And he's like, I'm not paying. So then they called the cops on him, and then the cops beat the shit out of him again. And then he went to prison.
And funny enough, they were also kicking him.
Yeah,
it was
dude.
great. They the cops show up and they do the thing. They're like the way those guys like kick banana trees.
Just teeing up. Well, that's like a thing that America is pretty bad. Like our police system is definitely, it's got our prison system and everything's got its issues.
Yeah,
but
hey,
like,
listen, our police also beat the shit out of people.
But these countries are like brutal, dude. Like they were like nightsticking the guy. Like it was. Like,
our
crazy.
police are pretty soft on people.
What for not? You're not gonna get
Nightsticking?
I was just gonna say.
About guns.
Guys, do you guys understand?
How about a whole clip?
Hey, let me kneel on your neck
Guys,
till you're
listen.
dead. That's a little bit more brutal.
As I was explaining it, I was like, I was wrong. I was like, no.
They were like hitting
they're
him
also
with
bad.
sticks. It's like, yeah, dude, our boys shoot people in the back with guns.
Yeah, but fucking
dude, I watched a video the other day. I got on this like Twitter that was just like,
I hate Twitter.
I love Twitter.
I know
dude.
you fucking do.
What is wrong with Twitter?
Hey, you love X.
X,
now,
yeah. Wait, what do you not like about Twitter?
Just every time I would go on there, people would be like, I'm glad the troops are dying. I'm like, I'll fucking kill you.
That's your algorithm, brother.
I feel that.
I've never
I hate
seen
that shit, dude.
I've
never seen
literally
that.
never seen that.
That's like your feed, I would assume.
No, why would you assume that? It's never. My feed is all like also be
7
easy
years
touching
sober
that, 'cause it's, like,
Oh,
today.
really,
is it?
yeah.
I'm
Yours is just people announcing how long they've been sober.
Yeah, it's all just people being like recovery is possible, and I'm like, you go, brother. Go like and comment on my recent Instagram video. No, my algorithm now is a mess of just like videos of like
Plowed.
it's like anal videos and like parkour accidents where guys fall off towers. But that's the kind of page that I was
I don't
on
know
the
how
other
people
day.
get fucked in the ass, dude. I'm like already too close to shitting myself almost every day.
Yeah.
I don't know how I've
I'm always what I find miraculous is the cleanliness of just like the average girl's asshole when I pop a thumb in there.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
It's because of lack of hair. I really think that's
No, because I'm inside. There's no hair on the.
But
You
I'm
have hair on the inside.
No, well, maybe. I don't know. I've never looked at my. But I. Now that I'm thinking about it. But I
You've
think.
never looked at your own asshole. Have we talked about?
No, but I had that joke yesterday about that. But different thing.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've looked at my asshole. I'm assuming.
I think it looks a lot like the top of your head.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, probably. I did that. Well, I hooked up with a redheaded girl one time and she had like a single long red butthole hair, and I was like, that is what my asshole looks like. And I kind of was like, I just kind of rolled with that since. But I think a guy.
You were like, is that mine?
Yeah, I was like,
Did that
yo,
fall down there?
I'm like, am I fucking gay?
Yeah.
Did I shed
Yeah.
in her asshole?
Yeah, it's just my puke fell
Yeah,
on her.
exactly.
I never even thought of that. That's such a funny thing. I'm like, does my butthole look like that? Oh no, that is my pube. Actually, make a wish. I just think I can't imagine a guy, but I think a guy butthole has to be dirtier just because of hair alone.
Well, yeah, of course.
Shit running through hair is absurd.
He's not talking about the crack. He's
You're
talking
talking about the innards?
I'm talking about the
asshole,
insides.
The anus?
the
Yeah.
butt.
Yeah,
in
I'm
the
talking about
canals.
the insides, which I mean, I would imagine the state of the insides affect the state of the outsides. But like, all I'm saying is like I think about this.
Highbrow podcast.
Yeah, that is
I love this.
that was so deep. The state of the insides affects the state of the. That's like some
it's
Confucius
true that.
shit.
Yeah.
Confucius say.
Confucius say. But yeah, I mean, you know, like, because how many times, like, in the
The
course of
shittier, but the butthole, the shittier the crack.
it's just one of those things where it's like, I don't know, like, however many times I've had sex in my life where I've decided to put a finger in the butthole, I've never not never,
You've never
but
had
like,
receipts?
but like, I mean, the percentage is tiny where, receipts where I pull out and you can tell where it's been.
That's a receipt. You go.
Yeah. So like in my, like, but like if every time I've had sex with a woman, she decided to put her finger in my ass, it's literally the opposite. Like if 1 out of every 100 times I put a finger in a girl's ass, it's like a little where I'm like, oh, it's literally the opposite. 1 out of 100 times, if you put your finger inside of my ass, are you going to pull it out and be like, oh, can't even tell? Every time, it's going to be obvious where it's been.
Girls are in the bleaching and stuff. They're like more hygienic, you know. They're just
Yeah.
They have
cleaning it.
IBS too, which helps.
They're taking baths and doing spas and
Yeah.
bath bombs and shit. It's
You ever
different,
tell a
bro.
girl that you don't use face wash and just watch her lose her fucking mind?
Well, you should use face wash.
I don't.
I understand because what you just told me.
But how many steps?
kinda
How many
that.
steps is your face wash? 1 step, right?
I do 2 now because I'm getting older. You gotta start taking care of yourself, dog.
What do you do? What's your
What's your routine?
What's your
He puts
skincare
charcoal on.
routine?
I literally just wash my face and then I just put like sunblock, like moisturizer, but it has like SPF on it, like a low SPF.
Is this
on
before
it.
you start your day?
Not every day. Usually every day, but not every day.
Okay.
That's literally what
That's
my
not
girlfriend
that bad.
You got no. You
What do you do?
kind of have to do it, bro.
You don't do anything, right?
I'll do no.
Like I don't do like.
You kind of have to do it. That's the thing. It's like you're just gonna look. That's the reason why white people age like absolute
like dog
garbage
shit.
is because we don't lotion and moisturize, and
our skins.
black people do.
Yeah.
A lot of Mexican people do.
Did you see the kicker for the
yeah.
Bills had he
Deleted.
deactivated it?
I know,
He's just lucky.
it's so sad.
Based on how most NFL fans respond, he's just lucky he's not black.
I know,
Because
bro.
if you are black in the NFL, which is a high probability, you fuck up, you're gonna get called the N-word by your fans in your DMs.
Dude,
Your Vikings had a little issue.
Football, yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
Football fans are just the worst. Like, did you see the video of Joey Bosa walking into the stadium to watch the 49ers game? And, like,
Yeah.
the Philly fans were, like, just like, what are you doing here, Joey? Go back home, bitch. Like, screaming
Yeah,
at him. And then he was like, I'm
crazy.
Joey Bosa literally said, like, looked at one of them and was like, I'm rich. I can pay the fine or something. Like, it was, like, an embarrassing quote. It was literally like,
no.
like, meh. Like, he lost the argument. And then the Philly guy was like, yeah, it was just hilarious to watch, like, but it's also funny because any of them would maul the normal person.
Oh,
like
yeah,
the guy
big time.
talking, Joey Bosa would just rip
him
apart the guy,
yeah.
but it's just like,
100%.
well, but thank God for societal structure, you know? Rip me apart, dude. I'll call the police.
Yeah.
And then they'll fucking shoot you. No, they wouldn't
Triple
shoot
F
Joey
podcast.
Bosa. They wouldn't shoot Joey
Triple
Bosa.
F podcast. Yeah.
Call back. Look at that.
Callback to police brutality.
The best type of callback, baby. We're doing comedy.